Good afternoon, Dzień dobry. We're on our last keynote. We'll let Radek have all the fun with that. But as president of OSM, I wanted to talk about some of the things we've been doing in the background over the last 3 days. We've had a large board summit, and we've spent many, many hours trying to help build process and workflow. For the most exciting thing is our micro sponsors that we had announced just yesterday, so in less than 24 hours from the sponsors, from individual micro sponsors, $1,390, which was then matched by our sponsors. Oops, too fast. To $3,390. So almost $3,300 in less than 24 hours. And we just to remind our matching sponsors for helping us, Akiba, Cloud Access, Pixpo, and Rockin'. So that was fantastic. Thank you very much, community. That's very exciting. Also, we spent an immense amount of time on the Open Source Matters budget. For the first time in history, it is balanced. It is on time. We are ready. Our fiscal year starts July 1st. So our 2017-2018 budget is done. It's ready. We're excited. We're thrilled. We're exhausted. We project an increase in budget revenue of 18%. So that's very exciting. We've done a lot of work on the Capital Committee to make that happen. One of those important issues is the revenue mandate. So we have a new capitals mandate with unanimous consent from all the departments to provide for a positive financial future for Joomla, not only next year or this coming fiscal year, as well as going forward with process and workflow and expectations across the board. So we're very excited. We have tons of buy-in from all the teams, all the departments, all the team members. So it's very exciting that we can go forward on a more positive, growing future. A very collaborative process, which took us to the early hours of, or late hours of this morning. One big item that's always been critiqued, let's say, by the community is the one of our largest expenses, and we've managed to reduce board travel expenses by 51% from last year. So you can clap, be sad, however, but it's one of the important things we tried to look at and see, what is the most important thing to do. We've tried to improve budgets across the board and reduce where not expected. I really want to make sure that we give kudos to all the team members, all the department coordinators, the officers, for all their hard work. I mean, it really was an exhausting and huge process. Special shout outs go to Mike Demopoulos for, as treasurer, really stepping up, crying, cheering. Come on, stand up, Mike. Up, up. And then on top of that, I want to thank all the board of directors. So Radek, who's already going to be standing. Well, we got, this kid, Eve. Who else do we see? Eve. We have Peter, Soren, and Rowan, and Mike. There's Michael. Excellent. So feel free to discuss with any of the department coordinators and board officers. We couldn't have done this without you, of course. So thank you very much. Thank you, Joomla community. And now on to Radek.
In a room until 2 o'clock in the morning. 2:30, yeah. So, that's it. Almost. I hope you enjoyed J and Beyond. Have you enjoyed J and Beyond? Yes. Thank you. You can always count on Victor when it's come to loud and speaking. Before I start with my actual topic, I would like to do some thanks. I would like to thank our sponsors, because without our sponsor, it would be not possible to organize this great event. One other thing, once again, I would like to fill the survey at joom.la/survey. That's really very important for the marketing team. I would like to also ask you to still donate to Joomla as our micro sponsors. And please don't forget, you probably all see those posters here, we need your help. We really need your help. And I was in the session from Mike Demopoulos before, and I realized one thing, we are always talking, yeah, you can help, we need you, go to the website, and so on, but Mike said something really important. You can also contact individual people. Like, for example, Rowan? Okay. First, at this point, I think everybody probably already realized that I am not really a web developer, because it's the subject of my presentation. To prove it to you, I'm going to show you the very first website I made. It's actually a copy of it, but it's more or less something like this. To my excuse, it was 2005. Yeah. Okay. My name is Radek Suski, actually Radosław, but I prefer to use the short form. I am software developer. I am developing together with my wife a popular extension for Joomla, which I, for obvious reason, not going to name here. And I like coffee. I have a hobby. My hobby is beekeeping. Many of you probably know already about it. And I love my bees, and my bees love me too, most of the time. This is, by the way, what happened when you drink like 2 glasses of wine and you're going to your beehive. They don't really like it. Okay, let's take it down. Now, to fully understand my point of view, what I'm going to talk about, it's important to know something more about me. Sorry, it's going to be a little bit boring. I study computer science in a German university, and there are 2 very memorable moments for me. The first thing is we have to learn, we have been taught, for example, how to build from electronic gates like AND, XOR, OR, and so on, a complex electronic circuits, like multiplexer and so on. And at some point, I realized that I understand, or to express it better, that I was fully able to fully comprehend how a computer works, from electric signals to a complex operating system. Sound maybe a little bit boring, but for me it was really a very exciting moment. And the other thing which is really interesting when you are learning, studying at German university is that at that time I had to learn a programming language called assembler. For those who don't know what it is, it's so-called low-level programming language, which you basically has to address electronic devices and so on. Several decades ago, many people were developing in assembler because the compiler at that time was really bad, and if you wanted to do something really fast and efficient, you just was writing assembler. But in 2005, it wasn't really widely used anymore. And if you consider, I know, the German university, you still have to learn assembler. And I think there is maybe 10 people around the world that still programming in assembler today. Of course, I have no idea how many people are programming in assembler today. I would guess there is a lot of still, because things like remote controller and so on are still written in assembler. One of the most important tools we had is what was such table, it's just a part of the table we used, which describe a command, what this command does, and the most important thing in the 4th column, how many CPU cycles this command required. And the important thing for us so the goal of the course was actually to achieve something, to realize some task with as little CPU cycles as possible. In other words, it's all about efficiency. And this is basically a very important keyword when you're studying computer science in German university. I don't know how it's in other universities, that's just my experience. On the other hand, we did a lot of stuff in Java as well, so that's kind of contradictory. Java, joke, too hard. Oops. Talking about speed. Okay. Do you remember this keynote? It was really great. It was interesting because it's basically more or less what I would like to talk as well. So I did some research about website speed. Five seconds is the average load time of websites today, last year. %75% of user will exit your website if it doesn't load within 4 seconds. %75% of all users will also never visit your website anymore if it loads longer than 4 seconds. %25% user will abandon your website if it loads longer than 3 seconds. %47% of consumers expect to load a website within 2 seconds or less. This is really interesting. 22% is the average increase in website load speed per year. An important thing, Google recommends load times of 1 second or less. So, if I have a web developer, how would I build a website? In HTML and CSS. Not example, no. It's perfect, it's efficient, it's fast, and it's almost impossible to hack. By the way, have you seen all those features in HTML5? It's amazing. It's amazing. But then, of course, there's Internet Explorer. I know people know me. I'm mourning about Internet Explorer a lot, but it's just because it's a terrible browser. Okay, so as long our client don't want to change anything on our website, HTML would be probably the solution, right? We are going to create a nice website, and that's it. The problem is, however, that our client want to provide content. He or she want to update this website. And this is the reason why we cannot use HTML, because we cannot teach them how to write in HTML. Basically, we cannot even teach them not to copy from Microsoft Word or Open Office documents in Wysiwyg editor. So, days we are going to use CMS. We are going to use the best CMS we know, Joomla. So Joomla is very flexible and very powerful, and I always saying that something which is flexible and powerful needs resources and time. This is a standard Joomla web page with 1 article and few modules. As you can see, it loads in 1 second. As Google like it. And it just required some memory, 2.1 megabyte of memory. And this is basically the same web page. It needs now 6 seconds and 10.6 megabyte memory. So what's happened here? So I installed a template with a huge template framework. It's about 23 CSS file itself versus 7 CSS file in standard Joomla template. Now, please don't get me wrong. I am not saying that those frameworks are bad or that nobody actually need it. There is a lot of people that would use it, that would need it. There are people like a baker in your village who doesn't have money to hire you as web developer, and he wants to have a website, so he may use kind of framework to create nice layout and to have a nice website. Okay, it will be a little bit slow, but for him or for her, it's probably not a very huge issue because he or she is not going to have like few thousand visitors per hour. But if you are a web developer and you are using such framework to build the website for your client, that I'm really sorry, but in my opinion, you are not a web developer. So I would like to ask you to start using Joomla template. Go to Google and check how you can create a native Joomla template. There are books about it. I found just 2, but I know there's a lot of more of those. There is a very nice product called Blank Template. You can find in blank.vc, which is basically a structure for new template you can create basically from scratch. And the most important thing, go to the docs.joomla.org and read the documentation. We have a really good documentation for Joomla, for almost everything. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank the documentation team because they are doing a really great job. So make web HTML again, or at least a little bit more. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, and see. Yeah, that's almost the end of the Jane Beyond this year. Yeah, we make a group photo. A couple of people asked me, when will be the next Jane Beyond and where will it be? And I must say, I'm not really sure where it will be. We have some ideas. We thought about how we do Jane Beyond this year because of the lower attendee numbers. So we are thinking or rethinking a bit what we can do better, if we can, and what can we do a bit different. One idea is to go a bit beyonder. Using also other technologies, maybe go a bit in the JavaScript direction, maybe open it up to some other CMSs to have more not this, nah. To know a bit more about other CMSs and learn from them so that we can do a bit more in this direction. That's all ideas, not fixed yet. When we go a bit beyond, then there are good chances that we go back to Germany because we have all the contacts there and it's easier for us to set it up. So maybe Germany, we don't know where exactly. We have an idea, but I will not tell you. Yeah, that's it. So any comments? So, or if is one in this room who knows why we had this year so less attendees? Shit. Sorry? It's a weekend. Victor, great. You are always so good. We have last year, yeah, I know. Monday is free, but the other days are always the day before Friday was free. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. World Conference or Jane Beyond? Anyone? Oh, okay.
The number and the topics of the sessions.
The number? Number of sessions? Because it was two less sessions and not good enough sessions?
Yeah, expanding to other CMSs and other technologies will help.
Yeah, okay. So a bit more with technology thing, okay?
The difficulties of getting to Krakow compared to other cities.
Really? Okay. Good. Yeah, it was not so easy. But, vacations? Vacations? What's vacation? More people? Ideas? Yeah, we have less sponsors also, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. Maybe it's just a relationship also between where the conference is and the willing to sponsor. I do not know if there's a relation. I don't know. What do you think on that?
I don't know either. So yeah. Okay. Somebody, Peter. The important 50, you will say. Yeah, yeah, I know. Okay. Can you speak loud enough?
Yes, I think it is having less of the local people coming. I attended the Joomla conference in India, and we had about 1,000 Indians coming, and then those coming from outside joined up, and then they had a big event. But in Krakow, there is less of people, the Polish. We have a few.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I can speak about Spain. Joomla is in crisis in Spain. Not many people interested in Joomla, and we can see that in Joomla days. We are trying to make the community in Spain get bigger, and that loss of interest combined with the difficulties to get into Krakow. I had to take 2 planes to get here, and for other people it was the same and a bit expensive for them, and other stuff make this happen.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. You would say thank you very much for ideas. If you still have come to me, but thank you very much for coming. Essentially, then. So and joining us here. I hope you had fun. I had. Huh? And we now try to make a...
I would have a question or proposal in general to the audience.
Okay.
Thank you. I just wanted a small question. So, General, I just not into coding also, but also to make people healthier and stronger. Would there be an interest to make a group just to make the whole general developers for Joomla stronger and healthier? If there would be any interest, then just let me know. I will set up a group so we all can profit and get to also a healthy programming future, not just that one. Thank you.
Yeah, and
These are just more for cycling, not.
yeah, come you in, and come you here in. Come in. So, if you will, look like this guy here. So. So okay, let us go outside and make a group picture at outside at lobby for the Joomla. Yeah.